A woman scorned, flying cable boxes, a Twitter bot determined to crush revolution. All that and more tonight on When Customer Service Attacks. We start our trilogy of terror in the Down Under, where a Miss Kiara O'Neill wasn't under attack by crocodiles, but by a gasped sales assistant and his great white snark, after their pushy assistant mocked her during her dreaded wedding dress shopping, with gems like, "I knew you were a joke the minute you walked in." Kiara left and sent the company an email complaint. This otherwise uncommon story takes a turn, however, when the employee's boss emails her back saying the store was meant to appeal to a very fast-forward person, and that the only mistake that the retail superstar made was being too good at what he does. The email ended with advice for Kiara to sidestep the store during window shopping expeditions. The company's Facebook was firebombed with negative comments soon after, and 2 websites endorsing a boycott were created. So what can we learn from this? Well, besides that no one at this company has ever seen the movie Pretty Woman, we should know that customers are customers regardless of how much you hate their decisions, and that most people sympathize with victims of their own bad taste. Also, for the record, nobody, even a star, is too good at their job. After all, that's the thing about stars. They always inevitably burn out. Our second story takes us down south to Alabama, where if the tornadoes don't kill you, hypothermia from the cold shoulder of the cable companies will. After Kelly, a mom with 3 kids and a Charter cable customer, had her home destroyed by a tornado, she attempted to suspend utilities to her former dwelling. However, upon calling Charter, Kelly was asked for her credit card number so she could pay them for her lost cable box, or they would charge her late fees and send it to a collection agency. The customer service read, "If your house was destroyed and you have looked around the neighborhood for our cable box and cannot find it, you owe us $212 and you need to either pay us or make an insurance claim on our behalf." Needless to say, given the average person's love for cable companies, this quickly hit mainstream media, and it wasn't long until Charter, now Spectrum, just so you know, implemented a policy saying they wouldn't do such bad things anymore. The lesson: as customer service agents, we should put ourselves in the shoes of our customers and have at the very least basic empathy, even if we have to pull our managers aside about it. Also, never a good idea to mess with a person who just lost their home. They may not be able to punch the storm, but they can sure punch you. Our last story takes us to the Twitterverse, where Mr. Mark Hamilton was venting about police intervention at a protest against the government bailout of banks he was attending. Consequently, one of the banks he was protesting, Bank of America, ended up with its official Twitter somehow dragged into his Twitter conversation. Rather than defending the bank's reputation, however, the Twitter account sent a series of replies to the protesters with generic customer service responses such as, "We'd be happy to review your account with you to discuss any concerns. Please let us know if you need assistance." And, "I work for Bank of America. What happened? Anything I can do to help?" Acceptable things to say to most customer service complaints, but perhaps a bit of a misstep when speaking to your angry protesters. The takeaway? That depends on whether or not the account was manned by a person or a robot. If a bot, bad programming can be funny. If a human, there is such a thing as context, and we should always be careful never to be too overzealous in offering assistance to people who never wanted it in the first place. That's all for tonight. Remember, what you learn from this class, or you too might end up on an episode of When Customer Service Attacks.